that sleeping, she calls that sucking in the drapes.
I'll tell you what, Goop, if you ever took a nap next to Terry, dude, I'll tell you about snoring, that's for sure.
Yep. Hey,
Yeah.
what's your thought?
I gotta give my boy Charles some props. You know, Bill Bowman ain't the only one disrespecting Goose Creek out there. I heard the mayor of Goose Creek on the Bobby Harton show yesterday, and that's the first time I can honestly say that Charles was not being a homer. He was just congratulating, throwing a nice little prop toward Goose Creek for their win, and that Bobby Harton ate him up, talking smack about Goose Creek. This is a local media, okay? And local media, and Phil Bowman's the same way. This town is nothing but a bunch of haters, Bo. It's going to be bigger news if Goose Creek loses a game than the fact that there's a low country team that's won 38 straight games.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you right. Hey, listen.
Sickening.
Yeah, you know what's even more sickening is when you break open the newspaper, you know, Saturday morning expecting to see some stuff about Goose Creek, and we get a postage stamp size article about our scoring. And then you got a team that barely beat somebody and they're saying annihilated. But when Goose Creek wins and they win big, it's Goose Creek barely escaped such and such. Or Goose Creek.
The telltale sign of that was last year when the Goose Creek was the biggest news in South Carolina for weeks over that South Carolina High School League crap. And then you come in this year and the teams won all the dang trials they've had on it and everything. They're coming in with a 26-game winning streak. And all you got is the local media cutting you down. You know what I mean? You know, overrated, haven't played anybody. And I'm going to be the first one to say that overrated crap. And I posted it on Palmetto Football Talk earlier about Knights losers. The question still remains. You want to go compare one game with Stratford when Wade Hampton had Burns beat 21-20 last week at halftime, and Burns came through in the second half, won by 25. And Goose Creek throws 76 points on that same team, 49 in one half. And you remember over the last few years, you get the upstate homers that are always talking to smack about the worst teams in the north, in the upper state, are better than the best teams in the lower state. Yet every single time one of them middle of the road or low life upstate teams comes down to Goose Creek, they are absolutely shellacked. Worse than what the upstate teams can do to them.
Well, yeah, that happens, man.
I'll tell you what, Goop. I mean, you watch a lot of Goose Creek football, and you know it's almost like a pinball machine. We just don't do it like that. We can score when we want to, and again, I mean, we try to keep this show balanced. Again, it's about all the upstate, Midlands, PD. Well, I mean, we don't sit and talk about it. I mean, we can sit and talk about Goose Creek. But, I mean, if you want to know the truth, Goop, I mean, we took our starting quarterback out in that game in the middle of the second quarter. All right? Second quarter, folks.
It's not just that, Charles. The whole thing remains. You go on Palmetto Football Talk, and Goose Creek, if not the best, one of the best teams in the state for the last 3 or 4 years, consistently the best team. We didn't have a Northwestern rebuilding year where they went 9-2 or 7-4 after they lost Worley. We lost just about every D1 prospect we had except Caleb coming into this year, and you don't see us having to make excuses for rebuilding or we lost all of our talent. We've scored 600 points this year in 11 games or 12 games, and the Goose Creek posters are usually giving reactions to other people's actions with the talking of the smack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Bird comes in, and I love D1 and First to Goal. I love all them guys. But by God, they're a bunch of braggers, and Goose Creek doesn't brag at all. They'll just mention the fact that they won their 27th or 38th or whatever game in a row. But the Goose Creek posters are not the ones bragging.
No, we do not. You're right, Goop.
We haven't said a bad thing about South Point on it. We haven't even got on there unless we've been provoked to say we would beat South Point. But these little homers from from Rock Hill, get on there. Now, that Leonard's loser or whatever that guy's name is, I posted that too. He thinks he's so smart. Ask him what happened 2 weeks ago when he said that Rock Hill would beat Northwestern and Northwestern beat them by 50. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's all Homer stuff. And Charles and you both have hit the nail on the head. It isn't the same watching Goose Creek as it is playing Goose Creek. And Northwestern, if there's anybody in the whole state, will back Goose Creek up on that. Until you get on the field and try to stop that offense, you cannot say you can stop that offense. The only reason Stratford can hang tough with us defensively in our games is Christ, they played against us 10 years in a row.
Yeah.
In 10 years, you better learn how to beat that defense. Now,
right,
you're another team coming in, and you're going to have to try to stop that defense the first time you face them. I'm from Missouri, Bo. You're going to have to show me.
Well, listen, Goop, I mean, we try to keep this show about all the high school teams. And Terry's going to get mad at me right now because we don't – it is Swamp Talk, and we do talk about Goose Creek football. But I'm going to tell you something right now about all the people that hate on Goose Creek. We play whoever's in front of us. We've played Northwestern. We've played the Dutch Forks. We've played the Irma. We've played all the big teams that come in front of us. We went to Somerville and won on the road. We had a cross-town battle with Stratford, who was at that time just coming off a loss against South Florence, and we didn't put up the normal 50, 60, 70 points that we put up on the board. We did, but we still won the ball game 14-7. So all these people out here that want to have something to say about Goose Creek football, I'll tell you what, come and play. Come and play. By the way, you got to come and play because we're the number one seed down here. So all the high school football games, playoffs are going to be down here. I mean, I normally don't go off on that, but I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now. I mean, come see what Goose Creek football is all about.
Okay, that's the mayor of Goose Creek, guys.
And you know what? You also gotta take into account everybody in the upstate says, you know, you're not playing us and you're not playing upper state teams. Let me tell you something. This goes out to you, Burns. This goes out to you, Gaffney. You, South Point, and you, Northwestern. You guys couldn't hold the jock strap of the university team out of Florida we played. And we played them toe-to-toe and lost because we didn't hit on a two-point conversion at the end. And the team we had that year would never, ever touch the team we got this year. So for all y'all thinking we don't play the competition, I can tell you right now, y'all couldn't carry the jock strap of the university team that came to Goose Creek 3 years ago.
That's right, guys. And if you didn't know, that was a 52-51 game and triple overtime. And we went for two and didn't get it. But we played.
I can see the teams that say that they feel like they could beat Goose Creek. I totally respect that.
I mean, we play anybody.
To say Goose Creek does not belong on the field with these teams because we haven't faced that type of competition. I call BS on that.
No, you're correct.
Yeah. And hold on, just calm down. I'm going to say this, all right? For anybody, I mean, it doesn't really matter who's listening or whoever's point of view is what, but just look at us next year, okay? I mean, we're going out of state to find competition. How's that sound?
What did you say?
We're going out of state to get competition this year. Central, Ohio, then we're going up to Maryland, play a team up there.
To be honest with you, it's some of these games, and I never believed I could come to say that, but for Goose Creek, some of these games are just boring as hell.
I mean, agree with that.
Some of these teams we schedule it is just flat ridiculous. But I'm going to tell you something. There's 3 or 4 teams in the upstate, and there's 3 or 4 teams down here in the Midlands and Low Country, and that's all you've got in the state of South Carolina.
Hey, Goop,
so that competition they're playing upstate ain't no better, and every year Goose Creek proves it's actually worse competition.
Hey, Goop.
Yeah.
Hey, Bruin Dad 79 said, careful, don't get your blood pressure up.
No, I'm fine. You know what? I really enjoyed listening to him the last 2 weeks. You know, and you know what I like the most about him? He's humble. You know, he's like Goose Creek. They're humble. We know we ain't been around long. South Florence knows they haven't been around long, and I really enjoy listening to Bruin. I mean, Van Dad.
Hey, can I just throw something in real quick, Goop? Let me throw something in real quick. Last time I checked, I don't care what the record is. Last time I checked, Wade Hampton's from the upstate. They played the Northwesterns. They played the Burns. They played the Gaffneys.
Greenwoods.
And the Greenwoods. Guess what happened? They came down here. For the team that can't play anybody from the upstate, last time I checked, 76-0. So, okay, we can play upstate football.
Yeah, well, tell all these boys that have played Wade Hampton this year and laugh at Wade Hampton when after the game was over last week, when I went over and talked to a couple of their coaches, and they said they would have never believed what the hell they saw on that field last Friday night with Goose Creek. And he admitted he had his first team on the field throughout the whole game, and they never even got 100 yards of total offense against Goose Creek.
Yep.
He said they do not play that kind of ball upstate.
Yep. And I'm going to tell you right now, I mean, I hate to say that a lot because I don't like saying that too much, but we are on a mission, and our team and our coaching staff, the players, we are on a mission not only to win next week, of course, or this week, I should say, but we are on a mission to get a little payback, and that's just the way I feel about it.
Yeah, and really, I'm not cutting down anybody.
That's my opinion.
I agree.
But all that stuff being taught by South Point and all that, and they very well may come out there and beat us tomorrow night. But to get on there and say Goose Creek does not belong on the same field with us, that's the kind of games. And I hope there's plenty of that locker room material put up for some of the smack talk. That if that really was the South Point quarterback, he ain't been around too long, because the starting South Point quarterback sitting in a jail cell somewhere for selling drugs. So, if he's the one talking all the smack and he's a backup quarterback, boy, he ain't spent enough time on the pisser to be talking that kind of smack.
Well, I'll tell you what, nothing against we always say that the game is played on the field. But I'll tell you right now, I mean, again, we don't normally go in this mode, but I'm going to tell you what I am, because I'm a Gator. But I'll tell you right now, South Point, you got something waiting on you when you come down here. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're going to find out about Goose Creek football this Friday night. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Right.
Okay.
And if they beat us, I'll be the first one to congratulate them. But don't get on there and say Goose Creek does not belong on the field with you.
Or how about this one? That they shouldn't have to drive down here. We should drive up to them and pay homage to them. Well, what's up with that?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's just. But you know what? I'll be honest with you, Terry. That does not bother me one iota as much as it bothers me that the local media here in Charleston, South Carolina, is sitting there hoping and praying that the only team in the last 3 years of the Low Country, and I'm not talking Bishop, England, and Cross, and all that crap football down in 2A and 1A. I'm talking about a strong 4A program that has put Charleston area on the map for the last 3 years, and the local media is hoping for a loss so they can be the one to dang raise the flag and say, Goose Creek probably, I guarantee if we lose a game, they're going to get on there and they are going to absolutely just dog Goose Creek out. And that's terrible in the local media.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Goop, and they got to have a story to talk about, I suppose, and that would probably be one of the biggest stories they had in who knows how long.
Yeah, well, that Bobby Harden guy, the one you talked to yesterday, I've also heard him last year have to retract a lot of his statements when all that crap was going on, because he liked to throw Chuck Reedy's name out there in his chokes. And, that's real funny, Bobby Harden. I know you don't listen because you got no respect for Charles. Charles, I don't know if you listened after you got off the phone with him. He was still talking smack about you. So there must be something personal going on between you and Bobby Harden. And Phil Bowman, man, I heard something from our press box the other night that said that Phil Bowman sat up in our side for Stratford game just because he knew our statistician would give him the stats. Well, let me tell you this much. Bowman had to go to the other side to get his stats that night. They absolutely would not give him anything. And if he shows his crazy ass up there to Goose Creek again this weekend, let's pass the word through the stands as he's walking up. Get lost.
Yeah, right. All right, well, hey, Goop, I'm going to have to wrap this show up. We're on part 2 now, so I'm going to have to wrap it up. And
all right, buddy.
We got less than 30 seconds left, so I just figured...
we'll talk to you Friday and set up something on that meet and greet.
I got you, buddy, and I appreciate it, man, and I appreciate the call in.
Yeah, thanks for the call.
All right, Dawes, good job the other day with old Bobby Hart. Next time, don't be as nice, though.
I hear you, Goop. Thanks, man.
All right, take care.
All right.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this segment up here. This is the part 2 of the Swamp Talk show, and we appreciate you listening. and go.